Hello, guys. Today I will be speaking of emotional development in children. You guys, as the teachers of the daycare facility and parents as well, will learn emotional concepts of children. Emotional development in children involves learning what feelings and emotions are, understanding how and why they happen, recognizing one's often feelings and those of others, and developing effective ways of managing them. As children grow and are exposed to many different things throughout the world and situations, their emotional lives become very complex throughout the way. So here I have put some main point bullets of learning what feelings are with when it comes to children, recognizing one's own feeling and those of others, and developing effective ways of managing them. There are three emotional developments subtopics I would like to focus on. Number one, emerging emotions. Children from the beginning begin to rely on basic emotions such as sad, anger, sadness, fear, excitement. These are the basic ones that they start off with. But once children start to grow and become of the ages from 3 and 4, the emotions start to become more complex, right? Such as shyness, there comes embarrassment, shame, guilt when they do something naughty. They feel like this. They can have empathy towards others and even pride. My second, my second subtopic is temperament. What is temperament? A child's temperament describes the way in which they approach and react to the world. It is their personal style, we can say. Temperament influences a child's behavior and the way they interact with others on a daily basis, like here in a daycare facility. While temperament does not clearly define a behavior of a child, we understand a child's temperament can help providers and families better understand the child in terms of what they like, what they don't like, what they eat, what toys they don't want to play or they play, and why they do the certain things that they do. And information about temperament can also guide parents and caregivers to identify children's strengths and the supports they need to succeed with other children their ages and the environment as well. So why is temperament important? It's because it helps caregivers, like I mentioned before, better understand the children's individual difference. Especially here in a daycare facility, you want to know your child and know why they do the things that they do. By understanding temperament, caregivers can learn how to keep how to keep children express their preferences, like desires and feelings, their basic and complex emotions. Caregivers and families can also use their understanding of temperament to avoid blaming themselves. Such, I like to use examples of tantrums. A lot of parents like to blame themselves when tantrums come along. But these are normal things that children do and they learn over time to grow out of them. But most importantly, adults can learn to anticipate issues before they occur and avoid these things if you know your child and you know how to solve the problem before they react. And my third subtopic is attachment. Over time, they develop mental representations of those relationships based on experiences. For example, questions like the child may ask themselves or think, will my caregiver protect me? What is the best way to receive protection? Is the caregiver reliable? Am I in a safe place? They use these mental representations to make predictions about future interactions as well as about the world in general around them, family members, friends, stranger faces, anything like that. So there are four classifications in children. There is secure attachment. Secure attachment I like to define as children who show distress when their caregiver leaves, but knowing they will return. Children with secure attachment can feel protected by caregivers. These are, if say, the most normal one. There's anxious ambivalent attachment, which means these children explore very little to none. They don't like to socialize and don't feel secure around strangers. And when their mother departs, for say, the child is very, very distressed. As well as anxious avoidant attachments, most likely these children will avoid or ignore the caregiver, showing little to no emotion. In other words, they don't care whether their mother, for say, is there or not. And finally, disorganized attachment is a behavior displayed by children if they find themselves in anxiety into an abusive caregiver when they enter the room. Importance of emotion. Why it's so important to realize the emotions of children and the way that they're feeling, because emotions don't just come out of nowhere. They're feeling it for a matter. Children's responses to the different feelings they experience every day have a major, major impact on their choices, their behavior, and how they will cope and enjoy life every single day. Emotional development involves learning what feelings and emotions are, understanding how and why they happen, and recognize one's own feeling and those of others, like I've mentioned before in the beginning of the presentation. And of course, developing effective ways of managing them. As children grow and are exposed to different situations, their emotional lives become more complex. They go into situations where now they know how to react and their feelings are becoming even more complex. Developing skills for managing a range of emotions is therefore very important for their emotional well being. Parents and caregivers, I can't stress this enough, have an important role to play in supporting children's emotional development. They do this, or you guys want to do this, through responding effectively to children's responses and emotions, providing them examples of how they manage feelings, and through talking with children about feelings and how to manage them. For example, when they do something bad or good, you don't want to talk over the child. I like to come down to their level, and so they can see that we're in the same level and understand me, and they don't feel fearful or some kind of anger, you can say, but they are more comfortable and more open, and realize as young as 2 year olds why it's not okay to do certain things. In similar ways, school staff like you guys can provide important support to children's emotional development because they're with you most of the day, so you guys do play an important role in their life. So I hope you guys took some ideas from this presentation. And you can always feel free to contact me if you have any more questions or if you're curious about anything else. You're welcome. Thank you so much.